Sisters can be that way.
Sisters can be that way.
My sister just got dropped off. She's staying with my brother in Ohio in his dorm, and she was having second thoughts, making like some big decision about it. I was like, just stay or don't stay. Just make it your mind. And they got into it. I was like, oh my God. Nobody has time for that.
Relationship shit is weird, especially when it's with your sister. My sister went through something similar too, which at the time, I still feel this way. It is your sister. So no matter what feelings you may have against them, say at the time, it's just, there's always that certain something that is getting in the way. But it's still your sister.
Yeah, we're still close. I just know when to just kind of back off and not push.
So when she was going through her hard time, like I even tried to go out of my way to even be more so there for her, talk to her. Because like I said, her and I don't really get on, but I was like making like a sincere effort because of what her first husband put her through. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. In any way. And that made me angry and also a great deal probably more sympathetic than I would have normally been if it was just like a breakup. Fuck it though, families like that. Ladies and gentlemen, D.B.A. 2 of coming at you live from the compound. I got my man Far One.
What's good?
What's good? I got a new friend. Welcome to the podcast family. Being a part of the movement. My man Jay Psychs. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Oh,
I'm blessed to be here.
I'm blessed to have you here. My house is your house now.
Thank you, sir.
So
it's a nice place, man.
I appreciate it. Believe me, it has its perks and its benefits, and a lot of the perks are not worth it. They're not. But the fact that it is very inspiring, I will tell you. Weird part is that we have these hardwood floors, and in the advertisement, when we were looking for an apartment, my wife and I, we were looking for hardwood floors. We both grew up in the city. We both love hardwood floors. It's a bitch to keep clean. You always have to sweep and mop and like keep it oiled and shit. But we found this beautiful place. We were enamored with it, right? But he showed it to us empty, like this.
Okay.
So then he gives us a lease that says that we must put carpet in place over 90% of the floors.
That's what we're right.
And I said, huh? I said, when are you doing this? And he's like, oh no, that's the tenant's responsibility.
Wow.
Not word one about doing it like when we did the walkthrough and talking about how beautiful the place was and or how great of people we seemed to be. So he's happy to give us the place on the spot. So this motherfucker's been bitching ass. We've been here for a little over 2 years. He changed our sink one time, and he had to like do some like cutting out in the wall.
Right.
And this is it's a 1-bedroom flat. Yo, this guy came in, didn't make an enclosure, didn't cover the door, didn't even like keep the door closed when he cut out the wall. I got home one day, like from work, and my entire apartment had white foot tracks. And as if somebody lit off like a bag of flowers, they just lit it up like.
Wow.
I called him. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have somebody clean up. No, why? Why do I want you to come clean it up?
Why did you have to call to get him to give you that response?
Matter of fact, my wife just bust her ass out back because he built this dumb fucking walkway after the flood, and he put this rock gravel, and that was his excuse for having to raise the rent. By the way, we've been here. We stayed with him through the flood, whatever. This is why he raised the rent. This half-ass back, I threw some rocks down. Not even. He just laid down bags of rock, cut it, and because you can still see the plastic, but the bag came in, or the rocks came in. My wife has tripped out there a couple times. This most recently, dude. I fucking called him. I was livid. I was like, you charge us extra rent for this shit? I sent them the pictures and everything. I said, we've been asking you numerous fucking times to like fix shit around the place. Be patient, be patient, be patient. I got a business to run. Well, guess what, motherfucker? We're your business too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So my wife like busts both of her knees. Her ankle's still fucked up. Like we're gonna go to the doctor. You know, I swear to God, this will be our house soon. We're gonna leave it hardwood floors. But anyway, I start to ramble on about absolutely
That's
nothing.
the main goal. Keep your floors hardwood.
Just keep my floors hardwood, man. Don't tell me what to do, man. I like my bare feet. Those are real dirty sometimes.
You can't slide on carpet, man.
You can't, rug burn on your knees.
Yeah.
Fuck that. It never comes clean. The shit stinks after a while. Fucks up your floor. Just keep it natch. 100% natch. So, I actually have a couple notes that I wanted to get into. I was thinking about some shit. What in the fuck happened to the Wizards?
Dun, dun, dun.
You knew I was going to bring that up. You knew I was going to bring that up.
This is the basketball guy. I love football. This is the
Weed and you like basketball?
bruh.
I mean, I still love you.
I'm a Patriots fan, so you can hate me for another.
And I hate him for that.
He hates me for that.
Yeah, Patriots.
All right,
He really
well,
hates me for that.
Okay. Before we get into the Wizards,
Yeah, it's addressed.
Psychs is our new friend here.
I love him.
Please tell me. No, I'm not hating. I'm just asking you just a simple question. Because first of all, let's get this flat out.
Yeah.
I think football's dumb as fuck. I'll tell you what kind of like.
You think it's staged?
No. Well, it's not like wrestling.
It is staged. It is staged.
Close.
Patriots fan, you know about stage
Oh my god.
football.
You stole my jersey. Anyway, fuck you, New Jersey. So, how about his girl busting him out? Like,
That pissed
I was
me
like,
off.
bitch,
Why are you talking?
shut your face.
He just got the Madden cover.
Yeah.
Shut your
Something else with
face.
something else.
That's his curse.
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh.
Anyway,
Hold on,
so where are you from?
Hold on, what did it get?
Yo, Giselle Bundchen was like
You didn't hear that?
earlier last week. She was like, she went on like CBS in the morning talking about Tom Brady and how what their relationship's like and how taking the toll on football's been. She's like, he had concussion last year. Like he was showing concussion syndromes.
Why would you say that? This was like 2 days after the Madden cover.
Yes.
Oh shit!
I said,
And we were in a bar and like the shit was silent. I was like, I just looked at my wife. I was like, oh my god.
That's divorce worthy, bro.
Where are you?
That is divorce worthy.
Yes.
That's crazy. It's like she's trying to sabotage him right now.
I would put on all 5 of my rings on my left hand.
You know what I think it is? I think she wants him to retire, and he's like, no, so she's going to try to get him fired. That's what I think.
That's some House of Cards.
That's what I
That's
think.
some House of Cards shit, y'all. That's fucked up.
Yo, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Even though she's not my type physically, but I just don't see why the fuck she's so pretty.
I mean,
It's like I don't see like
yeah, it's her reputation more than anything. I don't think she's
because
ugly.
she fucks other gorgeous men. It's not like that doesn't make you gorgeous by association. Go fuck yourself. Where are you from? How are you a Patriots fan? Like when did this start? Drew Bledsoe at least?
No, this started actually. Yes,
Okay.
I had a Nintendo 64, so it was back then. I used to use them all the time. NFL quarterback club. Don't say why you over there smiling, man.
Because it's story. I mean, you had.
I told him this story several times.
No.
He had 18 years to like develop the story, so now
That's changed. Okay, I'm sorry.
he could have made that joke up. Like,
no.
I can make up a
I got
story.
witnesses, man. I used to use the Patriots and the Broncos on NFL quarterback club.
I mean, they were like,
What?
who did he? Elway was. Yeah.
I would never lose a game on there. Never.
You were one of those.
Doing the same pass. You ain't me, man.
Hook pass. Fuck off. Hook pass, spin move. Go.
Same play.
Randy Moss slant pass over the middle. Touchdown. Go fuck yourself.
That's it.
So I got a similar story. When I started playing football games on PlayStation, because at first I was a PlayStation kid
Same.
everybody else had different shit than I did always. Yeah. Not that I was better. My mom was just like, "Oh, look what I got you." I was like, so I was playing PlayStation, and Jerome Bettis was the beast.
Yeah.
He was just like back when graphics were horrendous and everybody was a square
Little
box,
block
but he was like a bigger
But you know
square
what's
block.
crazy? Back then, we thought those were good
Yeah,
graphics. Like Dreamcast, like blew my mind when that joke came out.
How did that not
in
take off?
2K. Like I was
How
like,
did
this
that not
is
take off?
like. I was like, everything looks real, but now you'll get 2K17. You're like, it's not even like close.
Can't compare. It looked like Minecraft.
Yeah, now it does. Like it's crazy.
Did you hear that the NFL play or NBA players wanted to sue 2K17 because some of their tattoos were too explicitly
What?
like characteristic? I was like,
No.
bitch, it's your face. It's your face. You already gave them your face and how you move.
Right.
Because it says Mary, get it removed if you don't want it to say Mary. I don't know what your problem is.
Right.
That was the crazy. I was like, because
I
they're
didn't hear about
tattoos.
that.
Yeah, it was like earlier this year. Right after it came out, like players was like, hey, my tattoos look too good.
Wow.
But no, I used Jerome Bettis all the time. So before the Ravens came, I like the Steelers. I had family from up Pittsburgh. My wife and I actually just went on our second anniversary trip. We went up to Pittsburgh. Dope fucking city. It's a lot like Baltimore. It's horrendous to drive in because none of the streets are straight.
Yeah.
Like, it's so scary because there's so many bridges and tunnels in that city that if you make a wrong turn, it's going to take you 20 minutes just to do a U-turn. Wow. Everybody drives 15 miles over the speed limit, and you have no idea where you're going.
Yeah, my older sister, she from Pittsburgh. It's crazy up there.
Dude.
Nothing but hills,
So we had a beautiful time, and so we went to a Pirates game because I like the Pirates as a National League team. Yeah, we got heckled so hard from like this one bartender, cool chick. But we sat down. Oh yeah, we're up here, we're chilling. This is like day 3 after everybody went. It was cool as fuck. Yeah, we're up here chilling. It's our anniversary. Oh, where are you from? Baltimore. She's like, ew. Like,
what?
Turned and walked away. I was like, wait, huh? I was hurt.
Can't end the conversation.
I was hurt. I was like, huh? Ew. Yeah, come here. What does that mean? She's like, are you a Ravens fan? She's like, I mean, they're on TV. I don't give a fuck about football. I'd rather watch 2 Rams bash their head in together. I think that's entertaining too. It doesn't grab me that way. I'm not saying I'm not entertained by it or I don't follow it or didn't like it as a kid, so I still know about it and know about players and shit. Like, I still enjoy it on a very small level, but it's not serious.
The main reason I used to watch Ravens games was for Ray. That was a lot of people.
Yeah, me too.
Ray Lewis, and then Ray Rice for a little while, and then he lifted his wife up off the ground. And
she came in first.
Yeah, I saw that, and
I'm not condoning.
She spit on him. I saw the spit on the outside of the elevator, and then she came in and charged him. And that's when he uppercut her.
But what I ain't like about the whole situation is the way they reveal the video in pieces.
Yeah.
So on break they just show him just carrying her.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, why is he carrying his wife like that? Yeah. They just show him clocking her.
Yeah.
They showed it backwards.
Yeah. They show it like it's the fucking Christopher Nolan movie. They will give you a glimpse to the future coming back. Yeah, there's too much going on.
Yeah, I do. I don't think she should have gotten knocked out, but I do think he should have retaliated.
No. Well, here's my thing. Obviously, I'm never, ever, I will never put my hands on my wife.
Yeah.
I will shoulder shrug the shit out of her, in her chest. But, that's just me trying to get away. I can prove I'm just trying to, I'm scared. But I will, make a concerted effort to, put a little extra. I even do exercise. So.
I don't agree with women hitting men and thinking they're not going to get hit back.
Here's my problem with society. People say, especially people in the restaurant business, have dealt with this a lot.
Yeah.
But the more you have access or experience with the public, it happens all the time. But you will see or hear people, or people will say shit to you with the utmost confidence that they're not going to get stabbed in the fucking throat. I'm not saying I'm a peaceful guy. I love people, dude. I've talked my way out of many altercations. But the gall that people
are just comfortable now. Yeah. Especially with the rise of social media. People get encouraged to say some outrageous type stuff. But
the funny thing is that if 4 people see something in a crowd, you're less likely to have somebody do something about it.
Yeah.
But if one person puts shit on the internet, you're more likely to have a whole bunch of anonymous people say shit about it.
I call them computer thugs. Xbox thugs. It happens everywhere. Anywhere with a microphone or a keyboard, it's going to happen. It doesn't bother me that much.
I don't know, man.
If anything, it's just annoying.
So, let's get into pain and heartbreak and why. This happens to me in sports constantly because one thing I really hate is if a team beats a team that I really like and then they go on to play absolute shit.
Yeah.
Last night they balled out. Celtics came back and won. I don't know how.
What was the score? Do you remember?
The final score?
It was 6-point difference.
It was us too.
Even worse. Yeah. What was the score of the other 2 games?
Oh yeah,
Marcus Smart. He had a nice game, but they have shit the bed. And every time that happens to me, so I'm I don't feel more confident that you gave your best to my team. I'm just mad that my team is now sitting home watching your bum ass fucking.
About 40, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard Ben's Chili Bowl removed John Wall's painting on the outside.
No, that's not true.
That's not true?
No.
Why would they do that?
All right, I saw that online, and that was I'm not going to say who it was.
That's messed up, y'all.
I'm being 100%
there's no way.
Here's one thing.
Hold up.
Psychs, I'm going to give you this one time.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can Google, but this is a Google-free podcast. We talk shit.
Okay.
So where the fuck is it? Why would Ben's Chili Bowl take it down? Because it lost?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It was
Nah, that can't
rude.
be true.
They would tear down every mural of every DC sports team.
Look.
Fucking lost.
The Wizards got further than they ever have in 38 years of basketball.
That's why they're saying it hurt the most.
I get it.
Like, yeah, but, you know, it was our first year with Scott Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of new pieces. Scott Brooks needs to get his head out of his you-know-what. Because this motherfucker did not play Kelly Oubre. And I still don't understand how you do not play Kelly Oubre.
How you gonna say you know what and then say motherfucker? How you gonna censor?
I was trying to be nice. But I'm mad about it.
It's passion.
I'm mad.
But what's here? I see 3 small forwards though. Markieff Morris is barely bigger than Otto Porter, and Oubre is barely smaller than Otto Porter. Like, they're both pretty much the same size, and they can both shoot. And it's become, for some reason, a shooters league, and nobody plays down low anymore. But, how the fuck, like, get somebody to help Gortat. Like, that when they liked Nanego, I was like, that was...
Yeah, he could never stay healthy, though. And he cost a lot of money. So that was like a... They were like, all right, we could get Markieff Morris to get more production and consistency from him for less money. Like, that's how they think now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how these execs... I mean, like, Avery Bradley, like, the reason why Ray Allen even left Boston years ago is because Boston knew what they had in Avery Bradley. They were like, shoot, we have a 2-guard for the future. Let's go ahead and, develop him. And that's why Ray Allen was on the trading block. And up in Miami.
And then people gave, like, the Celtics are giving him, like, those weird, like, you're not invited back to the OA squad.
Yeah.
Because you left.
Yeah, that's
everybody in sports leaves.
Yeah.
Rajon.
They left for Brooklyn. They went to the Brooklyn Nets to play with Darren Williams and Joe Johnson to try to get the 6th seed. Like, them motherfuckers ain't do shit.
Joe, anyway. So, also... I went up to Pittsburgh, and as a fucking Capitals fan, again, people talk shit. And I'm like, yo, first of all, you have no platform, because if you always beat another team, just say, hey, man, I'm sorry, bro.
Right. Apologize to it.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Keep your head up.
Be humble about
That's like Packers fans talking shit to, like, Lions fans. Like, come on, y'all. Like, Packers destroyed Detroit pretty much for, like, the last 20 years.
I miss... Barry Sanders is my favorite football player of all time.
Yeah, he's in my top 5 favorite.
Hands down.
Yeah. Michael Vick, my number 1 favorite, though.
Who?
You sound like my dad.
Mike Vick.
Mike Vick?
He's my favorite. I'm not saying he's the greatest. I'm saying he's
no,
my
but
favorite.
he's a favorite.
Yeah.
Like, all around, all career Mike Vick?
I mean...
What broke my heart is that he didn't play better when he was with the Eagles, because, he developed such an arm, and then he got hurt, and I was like,
but
God damn it!
He almost won MVP that year.
He was so...
he was a finalist.
First of all,
like, he's balling.
Before all that shit, like, if he would have just stayed in the pocket a little more and developed that arm, I mean, you really are talking about an all-time great. Dog killing be damned.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it, too. Like,
really?
The team he took to the NFC Championship game, like, they lost to an Eagles team that almost beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like, they were a field goal away.
I think we have to talk about this.
No, but I'm saying, like, Michael, like...
Why you got to use us as the example?
No, I'm just saying, like...
it was just so happened. It just
happened to be. Started to, like, get to that level. You could see him progressing.
Yeah.
And then the whole dogfight thing happened, injuries, and...
I expected him to come out of jail swole. He came out skinny. I was like, wait, you haven't been lifting that one weight.
I wouldn't have lifted a finger neither. Like, yo, you know what, man? I still got an arm. Like, you want to be my friend or no?
He came back, bro. I mean, and he proved that he deserved to be an NFL quarterback. Because you don't take a break, go to jail for a couple years, and come back. And
he came back humble too.
Yeah.
Like, here's when you can tell when a humble person is being braggadocious out of fun, and somebody who's not humble in any way. It's the tone in their voice.
Right.
So if they're a little animated when they're talking, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But when he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm really, really excited to be," like, you could definitely there's a song because it's like, "Yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Thanks for the chance." By the way, like, I love animals. I don't want nobody to hurt animals, but mind your fucking business.
Yeah, I mean,
Mind your business.
Way to say it.
Mind your business.
Out of all the inhumane things we have going on in this country, dog fight, like, I don't. It's sad. It's sad.
Yo, can I ask you why they say, like, so humane? That's inhumane. That's something in, like, because I like words. Inhumane. I know what the definition is. I know how it's used. But when I break that shit down, because I smoke too much weed, I think about inhumane, and when they say that something against an animal is inhumane, I'm like, yo, inhumane to me means that's something inhuman. A human should never do to another human, something like that. But a dog is not a humane. Like, I don't know why they call it humane society. Like, it's not for people. Like, they should call shelters humane society and humane society shelters. Like, it's just a fucking, like, okay, like I said, I love dogs. I'm not hating. I don't want nobody to hurt a dog. I would never hurt a dog.
We're going to get a call from Peter in like 10 minutes.
That's fine. But I'm just telling you, like, mind your business. Advocate for animal safety. Maybe you do change somebody's mind. But I'm of the firm opinion that only a person themselves can change their mind.
True.
Agreed.
Like, I can only change. I can listen to an argument from you and an argument from you, and you both make sense. And then I think about it later. You can have an influence, but then I think about it later and I say, you know what? I was thinking this way, heard this argument. The middle seems to be the way to go. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
I'll let you tell me what to think.
Everybody's butt hurt over whatever issue means something to them.
I mean, it's dogs. Like, other countries, dogs aren't pets. People eat dogs in other countries. I'm not saying I would eat dogs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying people do that.
So
I eat the shit out of them like a Malamute. They're big. They got some.
I can't eat no dog.
I'm
That's
sure,
like ranch.
I cannot eat no dog.
I'm sure fucking with decent carryouts. I done had dog before.
You just didn't know
some cat.
That mumbo sauce master taste, man.
Yeah, there's some good cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down, dude.
What does Taco Bell meat? That's
No.
not all
Dude.
beef, bro.
So I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike. We're about to head into Maryland, and I'm like, I see a Taco Bell. We have to take the stop anyway. I'm like, yo, a trip wouldn't be a trip without a little diarrhea. So I get the only thing that I ever get there because it's so delicious, cheesy gordita crunch.
No.
I pick it up like it's in a wrapper. It's neatly wrapped. It's firm. They didn't skimp on shit. This one's rich. So when you go to the broke ones, they don't give you shit.
Yeah.
Full ones. I wrapped it over. I opened it up to put my hot sauce in there, and something like neon was staring at me, and I was like,
The hell?
"This beautiful lettuce with this wonderful cheese and this great sauce. Yo, the sauce don't turn it like this. It was like a neon orange, like a color in that paint right behind me." I was like, so I did like this.
Wow.
Drove the fuck on. She just ate her nachos and cheese. That's all she gets there either. So I'm like, I'm not. But what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
But if you put the flavor on it, it is good. Just tone down like the hue. Make it more like well done.
I love it. I love Taco Bell. I talk shit about it, but I'll still eat it.
I haven't had Taco Bell in years. Fuck that.
What?
No.
It's because you drink. No, it's because you drink.
No. See,
that grease.
See, I'm a fancy stoner. I'm like the
I'm about to say you smoke.
I'm like the guys on what's the show? We Etiquette and what's the Bong Appetit. Like I want to know motherfuckers. Like,
Bon appetit.
I like filet mignon with fucking crème brûlée when I'm smacked.
Fucking Action Bronson's podcast or show. What is that shit?
Hasn't he been on it?
He might have.
He has one where he's like he goes around eating food, but I thought that just sounded like Bong appetit. That's great.
Nah, it's a show. It's like
Bong appetit.
It's like world class chefs, and they make infused like marsala sauce on like
look at the hand.
Chicken breast. Like
it's beautiful.
It is, man. Like imagine the best cooking show, but they making edibles, and it's so like fancy ass tuna tartare that gets you high. They get like quinoa that gets you fucking.
That's so good. Here's the problem. My go-to meal, if it wouldn't be when I'm on death row, if it wouldn't be like a dozen of medium steamed crabs, it would be a double cheeseburger, plain, a McChicken sandwich, a medium fry, and a large Coke from McDonald's.
Bro, nah.
You don't like
What?
McDonald's either?
What?
If your last meal, man, I'm getting a motherfucking New York strip, cooked medium rare.
I'm not gonna remember that.
You want a feast? I just want a
I want to McDonald's.
Dog, McChicken.
Your last meal, you on death row?
Do you
What?
like? Look,
You gonna waste it on Mickey D's? On Mickey D's. You gonna waste it on Mickey?
What, you want a home cooked meal?
Yes.
Nah.
I want something good.
Nah.
McDonald's.
Actually,
my last
I
meal?
might get my mom's fried chicken.
Come on, man.
Maybe.
I'll take Red Lobster biscuits. I
don't like the fact that my mom can't cook. It's fucking terrifying.
So that's why you order McDonald's.
I don't order. I'm just like
McDonald's. Yeah, at least say fillet of fish. You know what I mean? Like and a McFlurry.
Stop. Yo,
No McFlurry. Oh, the ice cream machine.
whoever eats tartar sauce, that shit is gross.
What?
By the way, I love mayonnaise. I love an aioli, fancy man. I love an aioli.
Yeah.
Okay, a nice truffle aioli.
Yeah.
You put that shit on a sandwich. Bam. Guess what I hate?
That's how you go out. Not with McDonald's. Not with no fucking Thousand Island.
Come on, man.
On a Big Mac.
That's the magic sauce.
No,
Magic sauce.
Thousand Island.
Magic. You know they sell that in
Thousand
stores
Island.
now? They call it McDonald's sauce.
Nah,
In the grocery store.
it's Thousand Island
I'm
mixed
dead
with
serious.
Russian dressing
Why you giving
And
out the
spit.
secrets? You giving out the
and
secrets.
spit.
Piece of shit. How much spit do you have though? Like how many? Like maybe you either come out the box strong, or you pace yourself, or you go for like the hard last 5. I would do that. I would do the hard last 5.
That's
I wouldn't like
sauce.
straight out the box. Oh man, all my loogies gone. Now I can't fuck with nobody else's day.
Oh, they save them for the embarrassing customers,
McDonald's.
disrespectful customers.
So about that sponsorship, McDonald's.
You've been talking so much
I know.
shit.
Well, okay, he wants a fillet of fish. We'll get him a fillet of fish. I don't mind that.
Give me that fish. I'm back commercial.
The fillet of fish. So, what the fuck, man?
Nah, I have to have like a bomb motherfucking meal.
You want it soul food.
Yeah, I want all that. I want rib steak. I want just like a carnivore's like.
I'm gonna be dead anyway, so I might as well like go hard.
Ribs. Yeah, like
Might as well go hard.
McDonald's.
You know, like
Your last meal, McDonald's.
But
Oh
it's
my
not
gosh.
bad. It's not a bad choice.
It's a horrible
It's
choice.
not a bad choice.
okay,
bruh.
so people do not
You
know
know, he said cookout.
the size
Chick-fil-A.
difference.
But Cookout,
Chick-fil-A, I understand.
Cookout's not gonna fill you up.
Okay.
Don't say you don't like Chick-fil-A.
I love Chick-fil-A. Man.
Listen.
Uh-oh.
No one's saying anything that the Chick-fil-A sandwich isn't delicious.
Chick-fil-A.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no one's saying
I'm
that.
not gonna like this.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I don't know how this is gonna go.
Ain't
So-
got no sponsorship.
Fuck fast food sponsorship, yo. I'm saying.
Damn it. What about Arby's? Nah.
I've had Arby's.
Yo, they just tried to put out a pork belly sandwich. You like food, I like food.
Yeah.
If
The
pork belly,
their
fast
best thing,
food?
Their best thing is
It's like-
curly fries.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
It's the best thing we have.
First of all,
What about Chick-fil-A?
for a business to not be open because of your connection with the Lord, like why'd you go into business?
Yeah, that's true.
But you know what?
I respect it.
I actually
but
respect
it. hurts
though.
my feelings, but I respect it. I gotta
respect it.
Also,
Because. I'll let you.
why the fuck is the line so long? Hurry the shit up.
Because it's that good.
But
man.
it's like Krispy Kreme, yo. You know, like they don't make just one box and then turn the light on.
That's true.
Sorry, guys, you gotta wait now. Fuck no. They open the bitch up. Start frying the chicken right now. Like
Yeah.
it's not never gonna go like sit. You know what I mean? There's a spot in Charlotte. One of the few good things about living in Charlotte. There's this fucking spot now I can't remember. Think of me what you will. But my favorite fried chicken ever is Royal Farms.
You sound just like somebody from Balmer.
You didn't say Popeyes.
That's
You
Balmer.
didn't say
Popeyes is my
He's
second
from
favorite.
Balmer.
Okay,
He's from
okay.
Balmer.
First of all,
He's from
see
Balmer.
y'all. First of all, you need to say it right. BAWDAMORE.
Baltimore.
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 Only people from out of town say Balmer because even Nike put that shit on a hat. I hate Nike. Yo. Let's just talk about what else I hate.
No sponsorship.
I hate socks.
Yo, I want an Under
Yeah,
Armour
prisons for your
sponsorship.
toes.
You wear them inside out, so it doesn't claw into you. But yeah, man, get your shit together. There's a chicken spot, and dude, when they open at 11 and close at 4 in the afternoon, like people wait in line till the end, even at the end, knowing that there's a possibility that they could wait 45 minutes for no chicken, because it's like it's a building or a room about this size, right? That's your area to wait in. Right behind that is where they kill the motherfuckers, clean them. Like, it is the freshest, most delicious. Charlotte. One of the most freshest, most delicious. We're going to look it up when we go. One of the most freshest spots of all time.
That's crazy.
Like I said, man, people wait 45 minutes. So if this small chain, this small, beautiful place can figure this shit out, you would think the geniuses who run a multi-billion-dollar fucking corporation to sell a great chicken sandwich to get their shit together.
This is true. I thought you were going to dog their food or something. I was about to say, hold up.
No.
Chick-fil-A has.
Okay, if somebody, when my wife brings some Chick-fil-A, I'm a happy man.
Gotta get the Polynesian sauce. Chick-fil-A sauce is just honey mustard with some, what is that?
It's like stone ground mustard with honey. It's not like a yellow mustard.
Yeah. I gotta stay with the Polynesian.
Polynesian go hard.
Yeah. Polynesian's nice. Polynesian's
All right,
nice.
now I gotta go to Chick-fil-A after this.
Yeah, I got the munchies now.
I'm not waiting.
Chick-fil-A.
I'm not waiting.
Actually, they got Uber Eats for Chick-fil-A. Like
Uber Eats. Psychs, where are you from?
I'm from Greenbelt, Maryland. I was born in D.C., but raised in Maryland. Suburb boy.
it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So that's all right. I didn't say anything was wrong with it.
No, but here's why it's all right, because...
Good for you.
That's all right.
No, that's all right. Because I had a very similar experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because, although I sound like I do, and talk the way I do, and have the same passions for the things that I do, my neighborhood, although in the city, was very much like a suburb.
Gotcha.
So if you, like, even though, like I said, it was maybe like a 10 by 5 block radius, it might as well just like have been a big cul-de-sac. Everybody knew each other. For about 4 generations, people just lived in the same houses or bought other people's houses that moved away.
Gotcha.
Up until about 99, 2000. And one of my mentors at the recreation center that I pretty much grew up in explained it to me later is this. Greek town, that Greek section of Highland Town, was always 10 years behind the rest of the city. And he had worked there for 30 plus years. And so when crack took over the northeast and the west side, it didn't really affect southeast side that much, especially in that section. Then when other gangs started moving on all over the city, then crack would come into the city, in this part of the neighborhood. But it kind of like self-cleaned itself. Like I said, it's almost like a filter because of the kind of core that was already there. And then that all changed because the last of the generation, my generation, were either gifted those houses or their fathers and grandfathers had worked their business up to, as when they transferred it down, that it was already extremely successful. They could move to the county.
Okay.
So they kept the houses and just rented them out to, dude, nobody mowed their lawn anymore. Like it became like the rest of Baltimore. So when you say, oh, well, I'm a suburb boy, like... Kind of me too.
My people kept me grounded. Church was always in the hood. Yeah. Church is always in the hood. Next to the liquor store.
One of the good ones.
Yeah, the best ones. Well, not next to the liquor store, across the street from the liquor store and the carry out and all that stuff. But
cleaners.
I didn't know it was exactly. I didn't know it was the hood back then when I was little.
Yeah.
But now I can open my eyes and see that.
What's home is home.
Yeah. I got very lucky because my dad was born and raised here. My grandmother was born and raised here. Like, she would take us as an outing, and I recommend this to anybody with small children, especially in the city. Spend $6 and get on the bus. And then take another bus. And then take another bus. Because that's what my grandmother would do that all the time. Like, I think it was our Wednesday thing. Friday was our fish thing because we were Catholic. She's the one who taught me how to swear. She was a dope woman. Yeah, she would. My mom would call her up and say, "Maddie, why is Casey saying like fuck and shit?" Shit, they're not curse words. They're something you do. Yeah, it's the kind of people I come from. So, and then my dad would drive me around the city to like little errands that he did because he was was in the automotive field for a very long time. And the hardest part about learning the city was he would go straight to get there, but then make like 8 curly cues to get back. I'm like, well, I have no idea how to get there or get back. What the fuck is wrong now? So I got to learn the city that way.
Yeah.
And my brother's mom, when we got older, she took us around because she was from the city, and she would point out different spots. Go here this time. See what they're doing. That's they're dealing. See what they're doing. They're protecting the dealers. Do you see? Like she pointed out little shit, just like on the slide. Always keep your eye out.
Yeah.
She was very streetwise. She's very streetwise, very savvy. She's an awesome woman. Don't fuck with any hard drugs. Drink a little liquor. Smoke as much weed as you want. It's not dangerous. That was her motto.
That's a great teacher.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you don't know what things are when you're young, but looking back, you're very thankful, and that's one thing that me and Farwan are trying to do here is
that's what's up.
Trying to help other younger artists who haven't had anybody come to them and say, "Oh, okay, continue doing this, but think about it this way, or approach it from a different angle." Because if you keep that in your head, but your product's good, it's not. It's your approach.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's not you.
Yeah. And speaking of Baltimore, I spent a lot of time right out of high school. I stayed in Baltimore filming. Have you heard of Jay Fox? She's a rapper. Jay Fox and Delano Dutch.
Delano Dutch, no.
That's her. That used to be her hype. They're best friends. They used to be her hype man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's also an artist. But yeah, I used to film for her.
Oh, really?
All the time when she was at Rams Head. Where did she go? Baltimore Soundstage. A whole bunch of places. I used to stay with them.
Nice.
This before I was legal. They used to take me around to the bars and make sure I wasn't drinking anything.
Yeah.
Had my camera out, ready to film. But yeah, I mean, I love Baltimore, man.
When I would travel around, because I've traveled around the States for various reasons, but I would always like every now and then get a smell for the water, or like as you're walking through Light Street off of Lexington, you get this odd smell of fried chicken and lake trout. Like a chicken box sounds so delicious, but nobody has any idea what you're talking about. Like just these memories, like and that's why the last time that I was out, I came back home. My brothers were here. They have young children. They're here. The funny thing is that my grandma's moved back to Texas. My folks are about to retire down to Florida. My aunt moved to fucking Florida. My sister's about to move. But I met my wife here. I'm fucking leaving my home. I fucking love Baltimore. Yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. It's good stuff. Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, man.
This is why people have assistants.
Thank you, man.
You're very welcome. I wish I knew you were a drinker. I would have got more than a 6.
No, I'm good.
You're big, man. You get here. Take mine.
Of course,
please.
Of course. It takes a lot of this to get me messed up, man.
Not even messed up, just to take a buzz.
Exactly.
One trouble that I rarely. People don't know the size difference that I'm talking about right now between us three. But I was broke. I was a broke musician for a long time because I thought it was cool. And at any point in time, I could have not been broke. But so cigarettes, coffee, and not having enough money for food, and eating once a day because I worked at a restaurant. Like I would eat a big meal once a day, taper off a little. I would have some bread or whatever. I just got used to not eating. And then when my drinking took like a step or two up, I didn't up my food intake. I would just continue just like, and just like slowly melt into absolute nothingness. Because I'm drinking like IPAs right when they first came out.
Right.
So, and now everybody's all hopped up on like 8.9% beers. Slow down.
Yeah, that's probably like a Flying Dog, Double Dog. It's like 11.5 or some shit like that.
Dude, they had this one. It was called they still have it, but I guess it was so good and people asked for it, but they were like, "Yo, slow the fuck down, Flying Dog." Flying Dog, I love you. That's not a diss because I love this beer. But they had this thing.
All chances of sponsorship.
Not even
No, we
close.
didn't say nothing bad about Flying Dog.
We love them.
Yeah, we love Flying Dog.
But
Hey,
we
buddy.
they had this one called Gonzo Porter. When they first introduced it, it was like 12 or 13%, and they only sold it in 4s.
Wow.
So the first 2 were hard. The last 2, I forgot about because I mean they were so like they just went down.
Yeah,
And after 4 beers,
you're pilled. That's how Double Dog is. Like, you just need like 4.
empty stomach,
Yeah.
Blackoutville.
Yeah, that shit's strong. I mean, it'd be like the equivalent of drinking like a whole bottle of wine and a half, or maybe 2 bottles of wine. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, just smashing though, like quick.
you chug you chug a bottle of wine, you're drunk. Like, you're drunk as fuck, and that shit will creep.
Grapes are slow.
Man,
Fermentation.
Speaking from experience, man.
Hell yeah. Wine and weed is a perfect like vibe.
Wine and weed is a perfect vibe.
Yeah.
The more that I smoke, the more that I like to just like sit. I don't care about warm beer. I drank too much to like give a fuck about like petty shit. Like it's not 38 degrees or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. Give me the fucking care. I
don't care if the Rockies are blue.
I don't give a fuck. I'm drinking white as shit. But I like to slow sip, but with wine, if you chug it, you miss the flavors.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point to chug it. Even a scotch, like I can drink 2 glasses of wine or 2 scotch, but it will take an hour because you're really just doing it for the flavor. You're not doing it to even maintain any kind of buzz. What Tell us about yourself. What's your craft? What are your goals?
Acting is my number 1 priority. Anybody that knew me in high school did film with this guy. I was super skinny. I was like the size of this can right here. This man had to jack me up against the wall. After every take, you ask me, "Are you okay? Did I hurt you?
Did I hurt your little bird chest? Did I hurt your
So I have
little
hope
bird
that
chest?"
I can get to your size. You're telling me that's good.
You do, man. You do.
I do have hope.
But yeah, ever since I was a baby, like in my high chair, I was beating on my high chair, keeping the rhythm. So music has always been a part of my life. My parents got me 2 sets of toy drums, broke straight through those. Then they got me some pearls. I didn't know what pearls were back then, but I still have them to this day. Used to play for my church, different bands. I've never been in a go-go band. Every time we went to a rehearsal or a startup, then it would turn into playing Xbox, smoking weed. So it never started up. But now...
That's the problem with fucking musicians. Like, out of all the people, it's the one craft, right? And speaking as one, it's the one craft you can do it solo.
Yes, yeah.
It doesn't mean the same unless you have 1, 2, 3. My thing is 5. Because when you get 5 people gelling, it's amazing. But not only just to find other musicians. I love when people say, "Hey, yo, how come you ain't in a band?" Oh, shit, I didn't know, like, there was one down the street.
Right.
Because, one, you have to find people who have the same vision, or at least, like, the same idea of where you want to go. Mm-hmm. Then you have to find the fact that they all have a similar schedule. And the worst part, musicians are flaky fucks.
Yeah, the work ethic, man.
That's like, yo, don't you want to be good?
Yeah.
Don't you want to have fun and play?
Anything involved in media, man.
But musicians especially, because you need these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And if you have heart, like, yeah, you're really excited, you go through 2 or 3 of those and you can be a discouraged musician. Do not ever fucking give that shit up, dude.
Yeah.
Just keep searching. You'll find another group of people who are frustrated as you are.
Yeah. But now, doing comedy sketches, before that, let's backtrack. I wrote a script for 1 episode for a guy named Felix, the director of Let Go. It's coming out hopefully on Netflix. He doesn't know if it's coming out on Netflix yet, but hopefully it'll be on Netflix. Went to the casting call. I told him, hey, you still looking for a villain? I got you. So I read the part. He was like, you got it. So I actually played the villain in that movie. And then we actually wrote 6 more episodes. So we're on episode 7 now. And we're wrapping that up. So hopefully that takes off. And when people hear this, then they'll be able to go to Netflix and see the film. It's called Let Go. It's a thriller, drama, based out of Washington, D.C. So
beautiful.
I'm excited about that. But back to the sketches. This guy, Ferone, we do sketches. We get some actors, some comedians, and some people that just want to be involved.
Yeah.
And you can find those on Instagram. Those are hilarious. I don't know if he showed you.
I happen to agree with you. I think they're funny. I really do think they're funny.
Yeah.
They're fun little sketches.
You, man.
Instagram is strange to me. Before I started painting, I wasn't a social media guy at all. And my wife, the reason why you see all of these, the reason why even we're having this conversation is because of her. And because she's infinitely smarter than I am. She said, you should put these up on Instagram. I'm like, social media? I don't. She's like, no, dude, you don't have to show your face. Because that's also the thing too. Like, I don't have any selfies. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be in a sketch, or even in a video. I prefer not to show my face because it's not me. It's like it's not the physical being that I want people to latch onto. It's the idea that it's the spiritual nature that you can also have.
Yeah.
And so that's why, one, I never use my name. My artist name is my name. I'm the Rookie. And
I'm legally changing the far one, bro. Like, it's in time.
Please do. Let's start at the end. But I wouldn't be on social media if it wasn't for her. She said, get the shit. Just like, all right. And then people started liking it. I was like, oh, man, all right.
Yeah.
So
it's rare that you'll find a personal page for me on social media. I don't really have one. My Psychs page is for the acting and stuff. My Patriot Society page is for my brand, for all Patriots fans and stuff like that. My Tri-J page is for my video productions. I don't really have just a page.
Yeah.
On Facebook, that's about it, where I keep my family and friends, but that's not really a public page.
Totally.
Yeah, so I agree with you on that.
I get one thing with Facebook that really bothers me is that if you're my friend, I want you to see my eyes. I want you to come to my house. I want to talk to you on the phone. You're my friend.
Yeah. Some people are uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
Rather text you.
Which is so weird, and that's why the social media thing is kind of strange to me, because it takes away so much from human interaction and our growth together. But if we can take away our frustration from how people use that, but then maybe use it in a different medium to let them know, such as podcasting, such as acting, such as Instagram, that you don't have to necessarily latch on to other people. You can just enjoy and then take the message and do whatever you want with it.
Exactly.
You don't always have to hear, I don't talk to anybody I went to high school with. I'm not going to friend you and then read about your life because I don't care about your life, because if I don't look in your eyes, then we're not friends.
Yeah.
That shit was weird for me. But I also don't have time for there's my job hates it. But one of the ways that they interact as a group is through Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
They put a lot of menu changes, different instructional videos. I've watched them once after working there almost a year, and I watched 2 hours of them just so I can say that I've seen, because I don't want to be a liar. But that's not something I ever fucking look at. Even for my job, I don't look at Facebook. It's so not a part of my brain.
I've just learned to use it just for business and branding, reaching out to people.
Yeah,
gaining a following, because that turns into income.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. And when you do it in a proper way, I believe Ferone and I are doing, we're doing it in a proper way.
Yeah.
everything we earn, we will earn with pure intentions and a good heart.
Yeah.
But we'll still do this shit for free, just enough to get the word out. Let's connect.
Yeah.
One person turns into 5.
I said that's the best way to get paid. Find something that you would do for free and be the best at it, and the money will come.
And we already have jobs, so we're not broke.
Exactly.
It's not in any way what we want to do, or else we would not be doing this, because we would be focused on what we want to do.
Yeah.
This is what we want to do, so for the time being, you have to put in work. Like I said, when people get to that certain level of proficiency, I've been doing this 5 years, I should. But what you're doing isn't fitting.
Yeah.
Along with not really talking to people, I don't think people really connect with themselves. Deep thought is painful.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. It's worth it. Your happiness is real then. You have to strive for what you want. I've done a lot of things because other people wanted me to, or other people expected me to.
You weren't happy.
Up until very recently, one of the reasons that I drank as much as I do, because I'm a very anxious-ridden person. I have a lot of fear. Alcohol didn't give me courage.
Mm-hmm.
That's not why I use that. I use that as a depressant to make myself physically feel as ill as my mental state was. I love booze. I still like to drink. But now when I drink, I have 2, 3, and I move on. Because I'd much rather be stoned, because that calms and relaxes and lets me know. Like, if I trip out on some shit, like, I can rant on about how angry I am about fucking Chick-fil-A or Hobby Lobby or whatever, but that's just my mental state flying off the handles. That's not real. Like, I don't take my judgments or opinions seriously, because I'm always taking in new data. Everything will always change. I need to be happy using my brain, because I can't shut it off. So I have to make my brain work for me and me work for my brain. I took a job right before my wife and I got married. Although I'd been in the restaurant business for 19 years at the time, 18. I took my job as a second stint as a restaurant manager, even though that I knew that it wasn't for me. But I was salary, and I knew that my wife and I would be taken care of.
Yeah.
And then when they transferred me to Silver Spring, I'll never say anything bad about this company. What I fucked up is I fucked up. But I just put myself in a certain situation that was not good for me, and I was not happy, and I was flying off the handle with booze. And I was just unhappy because I made the decision. And then they said, hey, since you're, in my eyes, since you're not doing so well here, we can help you progress in another place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard in retrospect. But they sent me down to Silver Spring, and it got even worse.
Wow.
Because now I had an 1.5-hour commute with no traffic. And that's not happening.
Yeah.
So you add that on to a 10, 11, 12-hour workday. Like, I would come home and I would sit next to my wife for like 45 minutes. Just like, hey, how are you? And it's almost like you're coming to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to, like, look, man, money is cool. After a certain amount, like, it becomes meaningless.
I'm gonna say, if you're not having fun, it's gonna get old.
But
if you're not doing
what's the
what you
point?
love,
Yeah, what's the point of just collecting stuff?
Yeah.
You need to fill your soul up with happiness, and then you can encourage other people's happiness. Like, it's not one of those things that you can fake it till you make it. People know a phony.
Yeah.
People know a fucking phony.
If you're not touching people, like I said, with your podcast, that's a great way to touch people and to interact with people and get people to feel what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Not teach, but inform people. You know what I mean? Maybe people
Encourage.
are listening maybe people are listening for a certain reason. Maybe they're missing something in their life and they're hearing something from the podcast. So this is definitely a way to get out there and to do what you're saying.
And that's one of the main reasons why Psychs, that you're here is because we know how important it is for encouragement.
Yeah.
I didn't have even my brothers who are not blood. They're just two boys that I grew up with who we became men together, and their families became my families, and vice versa. It's not that they're like discouraging, but if you're a jock, and even though I played sports as a kid, I played sports 50% of the time because other time I was doing other things. I was writing, I was playing, I was, doing my own thing, being in my own world.
Yeah.
Even though I have a blood sister, I still feel like I have the mind of an only child. Like I was always in my own world. But I never had anybody come to me and say, "Hey, why do you like this?"
Yeah.
That's cool. What do you want to do with that? Well, hey, do you know you can also do this? Could be this also.
People need a plan. They just know, like, some people need organization. It's easy to say, I want to be an actor, but you need to see the steps. Maybe somebody's been there. Maybe you've been there, and you can show me how to, you know what I mean? Just giving people that help.
Even to the extent where you could maybe not even necessarily say, hey, I've been to the same steps as you. Because, say, painting and acting, two completely different things. But if you say, this is what I do and this is how I've had success as an actor, a painter could say, well, what I've been doing already is not working, so let's try his way. Let it work for him. Look how happy he is. Look how happy she is. It seems to be working for them. Let's take a second look. Because a lot of my inspiration, one of the probably my favorite art form is one that I haven't practiced yet, and that's comedy.
I could already tell you were funny when just by you walking around and just saying random stuff. I was like, that's what I said.
Comedy's honest.
Yeah.
Even when you're being a silly goose, it's honest.
You can get away with saying a lot more. People aren't as strict on what you can say and what you can't say. Of course, there are those people that still get hurt feelings and stuff like that, but it's a way to really be honest with your true thoughts.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because at the end, what the goal is what one thing I don't understand when anybody would get upset with a comedian. Because what the goal is that they're not here to piss you off. You didn't say, hey, everybody, come down to my pissed off show. No, they said, come on to my comedy show.
Yeah.
Come be happy. Take yourself out of yourself for a little bit. Hey, I didn't like the word you used. Well, ma'am, that's probably because you haven't had enough conversations to understand that words have different meanings and context, and that if you just hear one word, then your mind shuts off, then you're kind of retarded. Yeah. So please leave. You're not getting your refund. It's not my fault you're stupid. You can.
Do you like Camp Hill?
Yes.
I love the way that they're hilarious, but they also have messages, like real messages, within their sketches, and I love that. Yeah. It's not just about being funny and goofy, but they're actually like preaching to people.
Yeah, and Chappelle Show did the same thing. Yeah. Like Chappelle Show shone like the racial draft was so far ahead of its time. That sketch, the fucking blind black KKK number.
Wu-Tang Clan is Chinese,
right?
Of course they are. I was thinking about that name the other day. What the fuck is a Jizza? Like, where'd you come up with that? He's become my new favorite.
Yeah.
MC in the Wu-Tang Clan. It was You God, but his solo albums, they just don't they don't flow together. Like, he's great at 16 to 32, but Jizza could just talk forever. I'll listen to him talk.
You like Andre? Andre was probably my biggest inspiration, like starting out with hip hop. Andre 3000.
So I call them the Jimi Hendrix of hip hop. Yeah. And they're so unbelievably influential in so many genres, and their albums are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was aware of them, obviously, because I listened to hip hop in the 90s.
The art of storytelling, that's what blew my mind.
Scooter on the Barbie turned me onto them really hard because of Raekwon. And plus, in the video, my man had a blonde wig, like these furry things on his wrist, and like furry Ugg boots. He made the first Ugg boot. Yeah. But his partner was in an Atlanta Braves jersey that was a football jersey. Yeah. And the way that they sounded together was incredible. Yeah. And then when I saw the video for Bombs Over Baghdad, and it was so many different genres all in one, and Andre 3000's voice and the way he raps, get the fuck out of here, it's so awesome.
He was way ahead of his time.
Way ahead of his time. So much so that people are still trying to catch up with him, and I think that's why he's taking such a long break.
He'll come back when it's time.
He's an artist. He can come back when he's 80.
Yeah. He still does features. Like, he's been on Rick Ross albums. He's been on a couple albums.
But he hasn't done anything for a couple years, though.
That's true. I think the last album he was on...
But 16 ain't enough. He cranked that joint, especially with the guitar. Yeah. Killing that joint. And 16 ain't enough.
Do you like Rick Ross?
Oh. No.
I love Rick Ross, man. His sound, I understand, like, people have, difference in opinions about his lifestyle in the past and what he did or didn't do.
Yeah, he's an artist, though.
I love I'll give it up to him. He is an artist. Yeah. I appreciate him as a person more than his music.
Really?
Yeah. Not saying that, like,
he's a brand
not necessarily, like, appreciate, right? But I...
What do you represent? Like,
He's, like, one of the... He'd be one of the closest thing to like a rock star in the hip hop world.
I agree with that.
Because he's fat as fuck and his tattoos all over his face, a beautiful beard, and he wears these enormous gold chains, and all he talks about is selling dope, fucking bitches, and like and getting money and driving fast cars. Like I'm not saying that. I guarantee you there are Rick Ross songs I like.
Yeah.
His rhyme
it's
flow.
Just his own sound.
Like, his sound is too
crazy.
slow for me.
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, like with Rick Ross, like he's been around for a brick, like 10 years. So
when he first came out, he sounded
12 years. Yeah. So like he has songs that I'll always remember. You know what I'm saying? But some of my favorite Rick Ross songs aren't even his mainstream shit. I like songs like the joint he had with Nas, Triple Beam Dream, like stuff like that. Like that's the kind of.
See, I would listen to that. That would be a way I wouldn't be introduced to Rick Ross because I'm a Nas.
And he's on some lyrical stuff. Like he can spit some bars here and there, but Rick Ross isn't one of my personal favorites. But like I do like his music. As far as like, I can respect him because he's an artist. He can switch it up. Yeah. The song he had with CeeLo,
which one?
Tears of Joy.
Yeah. Yeah. He had another one with CeeLo too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I didn't hear
what the name of it was, but Tears of Joy.
Yeah,
that whole Teflon Don album, that's really what made me a fan.
Yeah.
Like, I listened to him when he was with Khaled and all that, but once he made Teflon Don, that was crazy. It was a story. Yeah. It was like a book.
Like Rick Ross, I just ain't like when motherfuckers trying to like talk about him being like the next big. I was like, y'all crazy. He not lyric, he don't got bars like big.
Look who he's surrounded with though. He surrounded himself with Diddy.
Oh.
Come on. Come on.
Nigga sound like he yonder.
He called himself the next big.
He sound like a Saint Bernard that just got shot.
Put some respect on the boss.
Nah, he a beast, bro. Nah, the John fuck with on the new John. 9/11? No, the new mixtape. I like was it Lamborghini Doors? I think the name of the song.
Is it the Lamborghini Doors or Summer 17? Which one?
I think it's Lamborghini Doors, and it's another jump too. It's like some fancy.
Don't make me pull it up, man.
Some like fancy city. It's named after that. But yeah, both of them jumps crank. I mean, like Rick Ross straight. Like I fucks with Rick Ross.
I love Rick Ross, man.
Who's your favorite after Rick Ross? I know Rick Ross your number one. Give me your top five favorite rappers. Your top five favorite. I ain't saying who you think's the best. We'll say that next.
I start with Andre. I listen to Ludacris. Like Ludacris, the way he would be funny but serious at the same fucking time. You don't like Luda?
Love him.
Oh, I was about to say,
no, that's creative as shit. That's creative as shit. The way, like his rhyme flows are great. Like
exactly.
Like rhyme play, word play, and
got
but
one
it's
shit
tempo.
out in the streets and evicted tenants. Like that nigga Luda had.
His Chicken and Beer album was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love him so much that every time I walk through like the cheese aisle, I like to creep up on white folk in fancy grocery stores and say Gouda. Like they're like, what the fuck?
So I got two. Okay, Rick Ross is probably number 3, even though right now he's like number 1 in my head. That's a hard question.
Yeah, favorite. You know what I'm saying? Cause
Yeah,
like,
this is a
who you
hard
think of the
question.
greatest? Like my favorite basketball player of all time is Tracy McGrady. I don't even think Tracy McGrady is like top 20 basketball players of all time. You know, but I know he could have been.
Yeah, we could have been.
Yeah, I know he could have been. Shit.
Fucking Stevie Francis fucked him up. Horrible influence. Anyway.
Nas, I guess Nas has to be up there.
Nas, yeah.
Why are you settling for Nas, man?
Huh?
Why are you just
You
going
don't settle for Nas, bro.
Because I wasn't really.
I
I never grew up listening to Nas. I listened to him once I got older.
got you.
Some people
So
you
I-
appreciate when you're older. That's true.
Because I couldn't really accept
Nas,
it
you
back
really
then.
listen lyrically. Like some of the stuff he speaks on
What a
at
great
10
story.
years old, you don't understand.
No,
Yeah.
but when you understand storytelling,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
dude,
Rewind? I know Rewind,
Stop.
right? He tells the whole story
like that's incredible.
and
Dude.
backwards. Like it's a whole song. Like Stillmatic is classic, yeah.
Now, growing up, Jay-Z, that would probably be up there in my top 5. Because Jay-Z, the way he used samples before anybody else was sampling anything, like that was crazy.
Well, other artists were sampling, but the way he used
It was
yeah.
different. It was way different.
And he had, think about the producers like Jay-Z had, like on like Blueprint.
Yeah.
Just Blaze, Kanye West, Pharrell, and Timbaland. Like, you're talking like 4 of the best
Yeah, he was in his
producers
prime,
the
right? The Blueprint one.
If
He
we're
was
talking
in his
about
prime.
favorite producers, I got to go with the Runners.
The Runners,
Oh my God. The Runners and Justice League. They pretty much sound the same, but the Runners, then they were able to switch their genre. They did strictly hip hop and they went to techno. I was like, how do you do that? But they're that good, man. They gave me a lot of inspiration back in the day.
Timbaland, too.
Timbaland's good,
yeah.
I just don't understand why he's in every music video when he's just acting goofy. Like that's what kind of turned me off from Timbaland. Like, I love his music, but seeing him like dancing, and I was like, wait.
He's like a friendly Suge Knight. That's what he is.
It's just goofy as hell in the video.
Oh, he's from Virginia Beach. You can't be angry when you're by the beach.
He's like a friendly Suge Knight. That's what Suge Knight reminds me of.
I'm friendly Suge Knight. I bet he would agree with you in that. It's like, you're right.
I am
a
friendly.
friendly You're spot on. Friendly Suge Knight.
I ain't touching this gangster. I'm just saying he's friendly.
I think I was thinking about this the other day because a friend of mine were having a discussion about Big and Pac.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a Pac guy,
Same here.
and he
big all
said,
day.
"Oh man, I'm big," and I said, "Why do you say that?" He's like, "Well, because I was a dope boy. He was a dope boy. He sang about being a dope boy, like getting money, like coming out of it." And I didn't think about it that way. Like a lot of people, all the musical debates you have,
Yes, I didn't relate to it.
didn't click to me before. I was like, yeah, he's got flow. I like it. I like his word choice. I love Big. I love Big.
I've just always been more of a Tupac fan.
Well, that's, to your point, like there's people I know who have like fucking Lil Boosie as in their top 5. I'm like, the fuck?
Lil Yachty.
But they could somebody said that smack him.
No, Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert.
But Lil Boosie though, Lil Boosie speak real shit. And the thing about that is when people mention him, like you gotta think about their relatability to that artist. Like me personally, because I had such a mixed upbringing. My favorite rappers, my favorite rappers to listen to is gonna be like Kanye, Jay-Z, and Biggie. Now, they're all different, but yet they all have their similarities and basis. So, as a fan of music, it's on what you can relate to. Certain songs like just speak to you. So, like you said, you can't once you understand where somebody's from, or you understand their point of view, then you can see, okay, that's why this artist you don't understand.
Yeah.
Like Lil Boosie threw me off. Like, what? You're in the top 5?
Yeah.
What? He's not even top 5 Southern rappers.
But if you take some time to take some, like,
why?
take yourself
why you
out of yourself and why you think that person likes to think. Like, because I like to put myself, not me being me and putting myself in somebody else's shoes. Me actually taking myself away and saying, what was his day like leading up to this? What was her day leading up to this? Like, tell me why you feel that way.
Yeah.
Because one thing that kind of might be a little difficult to understand for a lot of folks is that my grandmother's from Texas, so she loved country western. But the grandma I told you about earlier, she was like a folkie. Like, my first concert was John Denver. If you ever been to an Orioles game, they play that at the 7th in the stretch, John Denver song. That was my first concert.
I haven't been to an Orioles game in so long.
My mom loved pop from the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s. My dad loved, half of my records in here are my dad's, like all the Commodores and or EWF I have in there, Phoebe Snow, Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, right? I thought my dad was like a white square. And when he gave me these albums, I was like, my dad was fucking.
Yeah.
But I also got like early rock from the 60s and 70s too. I grew up in an era where both rock and roll and hip hop had this enormous commercial and cultural influence and upsurgence. So I am really influenced by every kind of music.
I agree. You can't just listen to one and be an artist of any sort.
No.
Yeah.
I heard it was a Basquiat documentary I was listening to, and they were illustrating how many different painters spoke different languages and how important it is for somebody to, like an artist, to speak multiple languages, because then therefore you have different perspective just from the word usage.
Yeah.
So that always tripped me out. So when it comes to music and relating it, I have a hard time, like, that's not something that I thought about. Because I could relate to a whole bunch of music, because I heard a whole bunch of different sounds.
Yeah. I could listen to hip hop, rock, jazz, as long as it catches me and I feel it. I can listen to anything.
Good music's good music.
Yeah.
Good art's good art.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of ballet, but I've seen some incredible shit.
Yeah.
Black Swan. That
movie was trippy though.
Yo,
that
was really trippy.
Son, I'm not a fan of Girl, but even that scene, I was like, wow.
It was unexpected. Yeah.
It was like the entire movie. It was like, because it played totally into the psychological part of what the dance is supposed to represent.
Yeah.
Now you have both mediums. That movie, I thought that movie was incredible.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of the movies, since we're actors, you're soon to be actor because you're about to be on screen doing some.
I've been told I can do that too, and I haven't done it yet. So that's not
actors,
out of the.
I'll go second. Who's your top? I'll go third. Who's your top 5 actors? First of all, the first one has to be the one that got you motivated to act.
The first, so my top 5 favorite. Not who I think is the greatest actors of all time.
Let's do greatest actors of all time.
Fuck yeah.
Nah, we can't. I say we do favorite. All right. Well,
you want to do favorite?
Yeah, because greatest. If I do greatest, I'm gonna say like Brando, De Niro, Pacino, Denzel.
Who inspired you then? Like your
Who
top
inspired
5,
me?
like your favorite.
So then that's a whole different list. So inspiration definitely Will Smith, Denzel.
People sleep on Will Smith.
Oh my gosh!
I hate this.
I can't stand
okay,
when
this
they sleep
next
on Will Smith.
name. This next name, I really kind of hate to say.
No, you don't.
Come on, man.
Yeah, Leo. I used to hate Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yo, stop it.
Oh, come on, man.
I used to hate Leonardo.
That's like saying
DiCaprio.
Brad, like you hate Brad Pitt, bro.
No, I don't know. It was something about like, I guess when Titanic came out and like everyone made such a big deal. Leo, I'm just like, I don't like, calm the fuck down. Like, I just everybody cites him. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and Lil Bow Wow. Just ain't like, I guess because
how do you put them in the same category, bro?
No, because like
what?
in middle school, that was every girl's locker. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was every girl's imaginary boyfriend.
Yes, a little context.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like we get some context. That was every girl's. You know what I mean? Like, So all the white
I'm gonna
girls
take
I
back.
like,
I'm thirsty.
Yeah,
I don't feel like getting up.
all the white girls I like, you know, they had Leo posted. All the black girls I like, you know what I'm saying?
It just
and
sounded weird.
motherfucking Bow Wow. And all Latinos I like had both.
I knew if a girl had a Leo poster in middle school or in high school, I was in like Flynn, yo. Because the middle school I went to was probably 75% black, some Latino, and mostly dirty white. That was my category. High school was more like 95% black, like 3% dirty white, and we had a couple Asian kids. You got to throw them in there like a 1%, you know. But I always knew that the sisters were like white boys because they would pop on that like, Keisha, you're mine. You are mine. Stop fucking with Daryl, man. It's not good for you. I know what you need.
Good enough. So you just walk around and see who has them in their locker and just.
I'm like actively peeking, but like I'm observing.
He had a list.
My head is on a swivel, bro. Like
just speaking every time.
He had a
open
map.
locker.
He had a map.
I'm not telling you what I had or what I didn't have. I'm not going to come into myself. But I had notes.
I'm glad you said Will Smith because a lot of people. Oh, everybody knows. No, like he is one of the greatest. In my eyes, he is the greatest.
Nah,
he's the reason. He's the one. He's the one that got me.
He's the one who, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I used to watch that joint religiously, and I used to watch every movie, even listen to Big Bully Style. You know what I'm saying? Like people clown him now. Hey, but that record sold 10 million. Yep. Like you can't even hate on this man.
Yep. Hang on a second with Big Bully Style. Let's go back.
Fresh Prince.
He has two. Let's not take the theme away because the theme is like Baby Got Back now. Like if I hear another fucking Baby Got Back at a white bar, stop. But if you go back, he has two extremely influential and critical songs in hip hop history. Okay, Summertime, definitely number one.
Still playing it.
Gangster as fuck. He comes back with Boom Bap. Like, Will Smith. Mad respect for Will Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 Degrees of Separation when he came out and he was this dude who could talk all kinds of shit and then would just fuck dudes and just get over on them. Like, because he was just a broke dude.
I never seen that movie, but I heard I know about it, though. He faked that he was Sidney
Poitier's son.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie is fucking righteous. Donald
it.
Sutherland gets all fucked up.
Wow.
He's like, oh my God, I fell for this kid. Oh. Like, because he walks in on him with Will Smith having sex with this dude. He's like, oh, I didn't even know. Like, it was, son. Will Smith is.
That's the only Will Smith movie I have not seen.
Me neither.
Please watch. Like, yo, it's crazy. Like the storytelling, the writing.
But
Jamie Foxx is up there too.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is definitely.
When he first started out, I was just like, when he did
I always rock with
Collateral. I was like, this is uncomfortable.
You ain't like Collateral?
I love Collateral, but when he started doing serious movies, it was uncomfortable at first because his facial expressions.
Yeah.
But after that,
shoot, he won an Oscar for Ray, so he.
Exactly.
I saw Ray in the theater.
Yeah,
5 times.
He showed his true acting ability with that,
and I cried every time Georgia Gilman My Mind came on.
And that's the thing.
5 times.
And it's not just like his acting; it's the way he captivated his sound.
Yeah,
like I've never seen like when I think Ray Charles, I see Jamie Foxx as much as I see actual Ray Charles. Just like even now, even when I was younger, like watching Malcolm X, I thought Denzel did such a great job as Malcolm X.
That every time you see Malcolm X,
I think about Denzel as Malcolm X.
You don't look like that.
Right. Nah, I mean like that's when you like really embody like a character, a role. Like
when
that's
they did
greatness.
The We Are the World 2, and Jamie was singing Ray's part, it sounded like Ray. It really sounded like he just sampled his voice.
He had that impersonation down.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to be playing Mike Tyson. I don't know if that joint fell through or not. But I know they signed him on a couple years ago. They might have filmed it already. Because he did kind of go silent for a while. And that's a lot of times when they be filming like deep roles like that. So, because now he's back on like social media and shit like that.
Oh, really?
But, man, I think he'd be a beast Tyson. He used to do an impersonation of him, like in his stand up. So I know that now he's a really good actor. He could channel that impersonation and like bring
it's not supposed
that
to be a comedy,
right there. Like he could bring that like nuance to it, where because he had the voice.
It's like this is your here's your homework for next time you come on. You're a part of the family. You're welcome back anytime. But
Thank
next
you.
time you come on, after we talk about this, think about top 10 influences. Because we've been throwing out a couple names. So, like, Tyson's a big influence. Especially looking at him now. That's why you can't ever give up on a person's story.
Yeah.
Because it's not done until it's done. And then, because look at what he's done now. He has actually talked about and admitted all of the errors that he's made. And anybody who doesn't take the second to think about what it's like to be able to knock an enormous human being out who is equally capable of knocking you out in 36 seconds, no one can beat you. And you're ungodly rich.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to happen. But, like, Mike Tyson's an influence. Ray Charles is an influence. Stick on hip-hop. No, we're on actors.
Yeah.
You know, actors.
How you feel about Idris?
Idris Elba is such a great actor that I thought that he was from West Baltimore. When I heard him speak for the first time, he's even good. He played a blind man in a Mumford & Son video.
I love Mumford & Son, but I haven't seen that video.
It's Lover of the Light. It's that video for that. He plays a blind man where the song is about going out and being attracted to the light after trying to hide yourself away. So he's a blind man and he lets go of his cane, lets go of his dog, and he just fucking runs to a field. It's so touching. His face is so touching. You're drawn into him. Luther, I've only seen a couple episodes.
You told me to watch that.
Gangster show, great show. Now, is it still in the works, in the mix that he's gonna do Bond still, or did they?
I keep hearing about that.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a rumor. Yeah.
I want him to be Bond.
Yeah.
Like, he would be a great Bond. Like, I like Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is my favorite Bond.
Yeah, no,
because he seems like the person more apt to be Bond.
Right. He was like if Jason Bourne, like he was like a modern, like how a modern Bond should be, like Jason Bourne mixed with the same like Bond like class. You know what I mean? Because like he was like a more rugged fighter. Like you didn't see fucking James Bond fighting like how fucking Daniel Craig did. Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan didn't fight anybody.
Yeah.
Got it, Pierce Brosnan.
It was the worst.
Why? Did you like GoldenEye the game? He wasn't in the game.
Right.
Going back real quick before I go into mine. As a goof, whoever you like to chill with and get however fucked up you like, ladies and gentlemen, and all other folk of the podcast, get as high as fuck and watch Titanic and realize how bad that dialogue is. We're like, this is purely a movie on two faces and cinematography. It's like, Rose! No, Jack! No! Rose! For 3 hours.
That was the longest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I saw that with my grandma.
I never watched that whole movie.
We had to get the 3 DVD set, man.
Don't.
Oh my God.
3 DVD set.
It was terrible, bro.
Don't. But like I said, it's fun for a goof. Don't take it seriously.
Now, Revenant, we can watch that, man.
That
movie was...
is... So there's a couple scenes in a couple movies that bogged me out. Like, I thought, have you ever seen this movie, a Nick Cage movie called Knowing?
Yeah. On Netflix.
That plane scene?
Yeah.
Like, when it crashed and, like, you get to see people, I used to be like, fuck it, take it down. That was when I was drinking on a plane, like, heavy. I was like, I don't care if I burst into flames. But, yeah, now I do. Now I do.
Yeah.
In The Revenant, I was like, fuck a bear. No, when he starts getting in that man's back, I'm like, this bear will not leave you alone, dude. It's not like he's going to be like, he's bony. No, he's going to still try to get at you.
Another inspiration is Tom Cruise. As crazy as he may be in real life.
Dude,
I love that man.
Minority Report is one of my favorite
hits.
movies.
Yeah.
Hits.
Yeah.
Even as soon as you think he died out, he'll make... Like, Mission Impossible 5 came out of nowhere. It was like a great movie. Like, what the fuck?
And you're like, what the fuck are you
My
doing?
favorite
Thought you were
is 2.
done.
My favorite one is 2.
Yeah,
just because John Woo was the director for it.
Yeah.
I love all John Woo movies.
John Woo's dope. I like John Woo. Let's see. I have to say Brando because Godfather is still my favorite movie. One.
Nobody ever says 2.
Well,
No, some people
I
say
like-
two, actually.
Really?
I
I've never
like
heard
to.
two.
I like two, but two is
two is up there though. Like I know people who like two more than one
I think they're crazy.
because the narrative.
I've never heard that.
I've heard
never
like
heard
a
that.
few people say that. But as far as like if you look at like critic score, I mean, it's like the difference between like having a 97 on the test and getting a 92. Like you still put out A work. It's just that.
Yeah.
But Godfather is clearly the better movie. You know what I mean? Like
It feels like it takes you to a time instead
Yeah.
of like you happening to be witnessing two different times.
Right,
in
yeah.
Godfather 2.
you live, like you said, it's that sequence. You live in that moment. You live like in that story.
So Brando is definitely up there. Plus, he's done a lot of really other cool movies. Another movie that I've seen tremendously, and I love so much of his work, even his garbage movies. Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is a beast.
Some of his movies are too deep for me, but he's a really good actor.
You know what's incredibly deep and people sleep on?
What?
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yo, if you want to learn about like love and dedication and not having to don't overthink shit, just do.
Mhm.
You will get so much more accomplished. People overthink everything.
Yeah.
Just do. I didn't like buy a canvas and then stare at it for a month. Oh, I don't know how to paint.
What should I
What
do?
am I gonna do? Like all shaky and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking paint some shit. You know what? You can paint over it. I love Forrest Gump.
That's a classic.
Oh, hell yeah.
Denzel. Malcolm X, the movie, is, weird as this may sound, is equally as influential as the book. I'm starting to read this, I think Marble Manning is the name of the author, but he wrote another biography of Malcolm X, and it's saying like a completely different story of like how Alex Haley just took complete liberties, and plus after knowing what he took liberties with Roots, even though I love Roots, but I believe, never mind the small details like that. Even if you leave something out or add something like smidgen in to make it seem a little better,
Yeah.
the main story is the evolution of a man and where he came from. The evolution of the mind of a man who was always really intelligent, just different opportunities passed his way, so he caught on to them and was extremely successful with both, like all of them, all that he came in contact with. Like he went from saying, "Damn the white man," the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, right? Until saying, "Hang on a second, I saw people pray with me that were different color than me, but they were praying Allah, they were praying the same God, so something's wrong." And then, like, the teachings that he started doing after that, I don't know, man. Like, that's how influential Denzel Washington is, that he further introduced me to more who Malcolm X is.
And that's a part of it they don't really try to teach you, you know what I mean? And in a lot of speeches, Martin Luther King was a lot more militant than people give him credit to being too. Especially if you read like the whole I have a dream speech. So, you know, I mean, that's why as artists, and that's why I think it's a responsibility of all of us, is not just to put out work from our point of view. Sometimes it's also to maybe even carry the bridge over for a new generation. Perfect example, I didn't know really Nina Simone's music like that until I listened to Kanye, and he sampled her.
Yeah.
I didn't know man like that. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's important that, you know, artists do that, because you look back on their music and you're finding out about these great artists from, you know, way before your time, and the messages they had behind their music too. And, you know, it's our responsibility to help push the culture forward, you know, and progress. You know, you can't always just make art for art's sake.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, like, that's one reason why I think, like, I can't stand at all, even though I still want to go to the museum, and every time I see shit in a museum, I'm like, I would rather see my shit in the fucking museum than this shit. I think Andy Warhol made art for art's sake. Now, he helped further expose Basquiat, one of my favorite painters and biggest influences, but Andy Warhol made a living off being an artist, not an artist making a living. He just, like, did shit for weird shit's sake. Like, he did a bunch of pieces later on, right before he died, where he was just pissing on canvas and, like, adding different color sprays to it so it came up in different, like, ways and different colors. Mm-hmm. That's art for art's sake. You didn't create. You're not touching anybody with that. I hope not. It's piss. But you're like that's. Yeah. What does that tell people? Like that's. I think that's the disingenuous art. That's the phony art, and I think people who latch onto that kind of they kind of put a stigma on themselves. Like they put themselves on a patch. Like, look at me. I only like pop music. Yeah. I've never read anything that wasn't in paperback. Like, it's fucking weird to me. Here's how strong of an influence that I am, or that he is with me, especially later in life after I've railed against him as long as I possibly could. And although many of his work isn't, like, say, Oscar-worthy or really important acting, what Sylvester Stallone did with Rocky. How he said, nope, I'm going to write it. Nope, I'm going to play in it. Nope, I'm going to star in it. Yeah, nope, I'm going to direct it.
I just found out about that recently. Like his whole story with that.
Yo.
Yeah.
How the movie's shot.
Yeah.
The story. He doesn't win. That's that's one of the biggest influences, especially like I would think about things like not every story. I want to write a book where the ending is not good.
Have you seen Creed?
No,
I still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it.
That's your homework.
Okay, I'll see Creed. How about that?
Creed,
I got you.
But Creed is like you know how you have like these remakes. I mean, how many times are you gonna make Spider-Man now, right?
Yeah, or the same ones though.
Yeah. They went back and told the same story.
The way they told the Creed story, and the homage it paid to Rocky, like film genius, bro.
Really?
Like for real, Creed is one of the best movies. Like I would say if you did like top 50 movies of the 2000s, that movie has to be in there. Has to. Like as far as a sports movie. What? That shit was, for one...
It's up there with Remember the Titans.
Yeah, like, for real. Like, I watched that shit, it was like, fuck. And I was like, I didn't expect it to be this damn good.
I gotta see it now.
Like,
while I'm eating my Chick-fil-A, I'm gonna watch...
like, today. Today.
Remember the Titans. In a serious conversation.
I love that movie, man.
Another movie that's a sleeper, too, is Inside Out. Just throw that out.
Inside Out?
Inside Out was a good movie. It's a kid's movie. I watched with my nieces.
Wait, that's the one where like the outward or the inward feelings are outward, right? But the people actually look like it.
Yeah,
I dig it.
I told my nieces, "Hey, y'all shut up! I'm watching this. Like, I'm putting it on for them. I'm like, nah, y'all shut up. I'm trying to listen. Like,
you shut the fuck up. I paid $3.99 to rent this movie. Morgan Freeman. Not necessarily again for his entire body of work, or necessarily saying that what he's done is absolutely amazing.
Just he could say one line. I
was about to say he could say one line and inspire you.
He was such a good friend to me in Shawshank Redemption as Red that you hope when you go to prison for murdering the man who touched your wife that you hope you have a Red.
Spoiler alert.
I'm not a movie. I'm not a killer, man. I mean, I stabbed the shit out of somebody, but this should be
no, I mean, like,
he was talking
about the plot.
He was talking about the plot.
I ain't saying
this movie came out 40 years ago.
I've never seen the whole thing. It's too long.
Shawshank's too long. Yo, so here's how.
You watched Titanic.
Here's how great.
I said I haven't watched it. Same thing. It's too long.
Here's how great. You can put on, like, you can see on TNT or TBS any time in the day and pop on Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
You can see Godfather, you can see...
Law and Order.
Oh, it's beautiful. Law and Order's a great movie. Or you can see Shawshank, but you know so many people who were like, yeah, man, I remember this part. Like, yeah, what about next? He was like, what? Next? Commercial happened. I don't know. Like, I turned the TV off.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those movies that are constantly on,
Yeah.
so people, like, see it and then have to piece together themselves.
That's how I am with it. Like, I never seen the whole thing. I just know he had a spoon, and he, like, I don't know.
First of all, it wasn't even like that. Nobody had a spoon. Nobody
He had a
thinks
spoon.
that. What kind of spoon?
He ain't did his, like, extra
No,
rock
well,
with a spoon.
he certainly did, but he didn't.
Oh, okay, that's all.
He escaped.
I'm in pieces.
But not a spoon.
Another spoiler alert, you know.
No,
I don't even want to watch it no more.
Fine, don't. I mean, take it upon yourself. That's what I think is different about me than a lot of people, because you could tell me something like word for word, and I'd be like, I'm gonna see. Like, dang, this is word for word. All right, that's fine. but I still want to see it for myself. I always want to make my own judgments. Like I said, man, I make up my own mind.
I just like when I see a movie. I'm just joking. Like, I've seen enough of it. But like,
I seen enough to know it's fucking.
But like, if someone told me like the plot for like, you know, another movie, I'd be like, damn, like. But I like that element of surprise, like when you're watching it.
That's why if I miss a show, one of my favorite shows, like Flash or something like that, I don't get on social media because somebody's going to...
Oh, yeah, when House of Cards come out next week, I'm not getting on social media.
Don't get on Instagram,
I'm going to blitz
Facebook.
that motherfucker, and I'm going to make sure I don't miss nothing.
They will ruin it on purpose.
They rewrote the whole season once Trump got elected. They was like, oh, we got to step our game up. That shit done got real.
I'm so thankful social media wasn't around when my favorite show wasn't on, Sopranos. Because one of the coolest things that they did... They never showed you fucking previews for next week because the bitch ain't even shot yet. Get out of the face, man. Yeah. Like, they'll tell you what happened. And then you're like, shit! It's 10 o'clock on Sunday, I gotta wait for another week?
I used to be like that with the first Prison Break. Religiously. In front of the TV, waiting.
Shit, I'd be like that with Power. I ain't gonna lie, man. Power, that show's vicious.
That's why, right now...
Shout out to 50.
I watch... Shout out to 50. One more shout out to 50. That's why my wife and I watch stuff like the only TV show we really watch now is fucking reruns of Law and Order, because it's an hour. Maybe if we feel crazy, we'll watch 2 hours. But then I got work to do. I got to pay.
You got to try The Office, man. It's on Netflix. You have to.
Office is like
you got to watch it all.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
I love that.
If I'm on an island, have 5 shows, I can only watch 5 shows. Office would be one.
Let's talk about TV shows that I've watched sparsely, but I love because of this one person. Because I definitely want to bring him up before we wrap this motherfucker up. Because he, in my opinion, made the show. 30 Rock is a funny show. Because Tracy Morgan is a funny motherfucker.
Oh, you seen his new Netflix?
Special.
Oh, man.
I haven't watched it yet. But he has a special.
If you've seen any of his other ones, you know that they're classic.
Yeah. What
he has the ability to do is just be Tracy, which is a great thing. Right. I'm gonna get this girl pregnant. And his facial expressions, with how he looks, with like if he does like this, it makes it look like his lips push out a little bit, right? And be like, I'm gonna get that girl pregnant.
Yeah, hustle man, bro.
Yeah.
Like
my dick mouth, be like who says dick mouth?
Tracy Morgan.
And
the only one.
So I'm not gonna ruin anything about this new special. But if you're expecting something different,
you've already seen it.
Okay. I'm about to watch it again when y'all leave. Like, that's how great it is.
Yeah, I already seen like 20.
This is my Saturday. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to watch that shit again. It's great.
Yeah.
He's, like... And he's starting to evolve.
Yeah. And the shit with Walmart, the shit about Walmart, that shit.
Yo, it's worth it. It's
I finally saw the Dave specials. So you don't have to kill
What did you think? I thought that the second one was better than the first one.
A little bit.
Well, you're talking about the second in time of film, not the time, not second as far as how they showed it on Netflix.
Second is how they showed it in Netflix.
That was the one in Texas. That's the one you like more? Oh, okay.
At first, yeah.
And it seemed longer for some reason. I don't know why.
He smoked a joint in the middle of it. He's like, anybody got a cigarette?
Yeah, like it just seemed longer and just more relaxed.
Like, yeah, so like I was like, I'm not fooling anybody. But I've read some shit like reviews. Oh, he's rehashing old premises. He's talking about old shit. He can talk about whatever the fuck he wants.
He's Dave Chappelle.
He's Dave Chappelle.
Right.
He's really probably the greatest comedian that we're going to see in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. That's like this. The reason I say hopefully not, only because I like to say that's my second favorite something. Because I haven't found my first favorite yet. But
Yeah.
like
Well, one's on this way, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. You're on your way.
Yeah.
I love you. But yeah, Tracy Morgan, it's like you can definitely tell like an evolution of the character with this new special. Like this kind of knocked him back in perspective. He even addresses it
Yeah.
on certain shit. Like I think differently now because of, I act differently now because of.
He had to address that. Yeah. People have just been waiting for him to get back on stage.
And he was
praying
just
for him.
He was very comfortable. That's a natural.
Yeah.
And that's very inspiring to see. Now, it may seem weird to end it on this, but I'm not going to fucking start it off on this. Because it's kind of crazy. Because I have personal experience with... One of the main reasons why we're doing this podcast, in my opinion, is to encourage, push forward all the younger people.
Yeah.
Even if you're not an artist and you're a fan of art, music, just friends rapping in altered states of mind, and you really latch onto this, like this is your thing, this is your favorite thing. You may not feel like you can paint or act or go up on stage, but yet another major influence of mine from the early 90s committed suicide this week. I don't know if you're familiar with his music. Amazing musician, singer, like an incredible, unique talent. One of the forebearers of alternative music in the Seattle scene. His name's Chris Cornell. He was a lead singer of Soundgarden. And they were one of the harder bands that came out. And then Soundgarden had their nice little run. And then he joined up with the guitar player, the bassist, and the drummer for Rage Against the Machine. Mm-hmm. Which, in my opinion, probably one of the greatest rhythm sections in rock history, just of what they can do to your chest just by listening to them in your ears. He joined them for a while and made some like incredible music, and his lyrics were very positive in that band. He almost gave you no indication that, from an outside point of view, that he was hurting, he was sad.
That's usually how it is.
And they found him after he performed the show, and he hung himself. Now, I'm not saying this because I have Chris Cornell tattooed on my arm. I'm saying this because there are a lot of our younger friends, people our age, people even slightly older, who decide to quit. Who decide that the pain, mental, physical, is no more. It's that you can't take it anymore. And we need to do a better job. Like the words that I was thinking about the other day were suicide prevention. We don't need to prevent suicide. We need to talk to our younger people who are feeling negative about themselves for whichever reason. And we need to explain to them that however they're feeling, there is a solution to how you're feeling. Because what's really strange is that although you are in pain now, and you remember yesterday's pain, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You can meet somebody that could change your life completely.
Yeah.
You could hear something that could change your life completely. Paint something, take a walk, do an exercise that could change your life completely. But if you quit, you never know. A lot of our artist friends like to quit before the magic happens, as some like to say. But that's because they weren't doing it for the love anyway. You get on stage, you act, you write, you rap. I get on stage, I paint, I write. Not because we're after something, but because there's something in us already that has to come out. We're compelled to do this. And that's why it's beautiful that we get together and we have nice conversations and we talk shit. But we also get together to encourage each other to, because when we go home, we're also, like, our minds are going to be firing.
Yeah.
Mine is. And I know that I'm not any different than you two. The goal here is to say, please, just don't quit. The only time that you lose is when you quit. Because when you quit, you don't have any more chances. You always have another chance as long as you don't quit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the shit's... It's the third leading cause for death in African American males from 15 to 24. The third leading cause? Get the fuck out of here, man. 41,000 people in this country committed suicide last year. They quit. Now, as I said, I have some deep experience with this, and I've been in some deep, dark holes. And if you do, and I hope that you don't, I'm not going to say that I don't understand, because I do. I'm just asking you not to. Not yet. Don't give up yet. Don't give up yet. Because, sure, it might seem painful, but there's somebody out there who feels the same way that you do, but also feels the same way about the joyous things that you do. So if you give up, then you'll never find that person. You'll certainly never get to hear this. Psych, what are you up to? What are we doing now? What's next on the agenda?
Let's see. We have some more sketches. First of all, I just want to say that that message was definitely needed, especially in our industry. Because a lot of creative minds, sometimes they get overwhelmed and a lot goes through their heads. And I know people that have thought about things like that and being like spiritual. And I know you said you were spiritual as well. Our minds aren't built to carry all the stuff that goes through our heads while we're, making movies or painting or rapping or acting, whatever we're doing. We're not built to carry all that. Sometimes we have to put some of that on God and let Him take some of that weight off our shoulders. So we try to carry it ourselves and be in charge. But sometimes we just have to push that off and just focus on what we're supposed to focus on at that time.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that message will help some people. So thank you for, yeah.
Well, I mean, thank you for saying that. I really do. But, I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking when you don't know somebody.
Yeah.
But yet when you know somebody, when you love somebody. And there are a lot of people, I'm sure, right now who are saying, man, I wish you would have just called me. Well, like, one thing that really bothers me is when I find out, say, young kids who are confused, say maybe about now it's their gender. I'm not dissing. If my words come out odd, it's not the matter, okay? But like, especially now, kids are maybe confused with gender. At my time of adolescence, it was kids confused about sexuality. I'm straight. I'm married to a beautiful, curvy white woman. But there were a lot of kids, and still kids, who kill themselves because they're gay, and they can't tell their parents, and they can't tell their friends. Yeah. Well, here's my thinking. Although my wife and I are working on trying to have kids, I don't have kids yet. But I have friends with kids, and if my friends with kids, or my nephews or niece, are gay, by the way, if you love that person, you know they're fucking gay.
Yeah.
They know they're gay, you know they're gay. It's not a judgment. You just observe the person's behavior and say, oh, he doesn't behave like this. He has affinities to go this way.
Yeah.
Right? So instead, we as a culture and parents, we ignore the shit out of that, right? Which makes the kids feel that we're ignoring them, which obviously we are. But instead of saying and just leaving it go, so when your kid goes to college, like the kid up in Rutgers, gets filmed because kids think it's funny while he's just kissing a friend of his, and then he fucking kills himself because now everybody's going to find out that he's gay. Instead, somebody can just go, hey, shh, listen. You're gay, bro. And I don't know if you know this, but I don't give a fuck. Because gender, sexuality, sexual orientation, color, shape, it's no indication to me, and I'm not saying I'm a genius, but it's no indication to me whatsoever of what kind of moral character you have. So we need to encourage people.
Yeah.
And we need to observe the people around us because they don't have to tell us. We know if they need help. As I said, I'm not a clinical psychologist. I'm certainly not a genius, but I've just been to some dark places, and I know what it's like getting yourself out, and I know that it's possible. I'm not saying it's possible for everyone.
Yeah.
But
it's not easy.
Or not easy for everyone, but it's certainly possible.
It's doable, yeah.
Nothing's impossible except for, like, in my opinion, one of the few things that's impossible is something being impossible.
Yeah.
There's too many people in this world that have done or thought to make something impossible.
Yeah.
That's my rant.
I didn't think I could watch TV in my hand
That's true.
when I was in high school. Like, now I'm watching motherfucking Key and Peele, Chappelle Show at work. Like, hold up, let me see. Watching Daily Show, counting money. Like,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But back to your question, what am I doing?
Sorry.
What am I doing, I guess, in the future?
Yeah, what are your plans?
Acting, man. It's just,
Yeah?
I've ever since I was young, I've had a really strong passion for acting. So I decided to.
he directs too, though.
Yeah, so I had to follow my dreams, but in a different way. Maybe start my own business right out of high school. I started filming weddings, concerts, music videos, documentaries.
Who taught you how to do that?
Me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, when I was little, I used to start with home videos and get my family to act and stuff. And now we filming sketches, like, with strangers and making new friends. But I think that's always going to be, I guess, a part of it until I actually get to where I want to be acting-wise. I'm always going to film stuff myself and direct. But acting is always, it's just something about it. Like, once I started with the film that I told you about, Let Go, it was like some kind of magic to it.
I understand.
And you still get to see kind of the behind-the-scenes drama and things that you really don't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It makes sense.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
A part of the rookie rules is that everything comes at a price.
Mm-hmm.
And that price is very costly. It's just how much you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to be broke?
Yeah.
Are you willing to struggle? Yeah, because this is all I can do. Not because I'm not capable of doing something else. I know that if I did do something else, I would much rather be dead.
Yeah.
and that's, I mean, especially like for me, like having a stable job, stuff like that, and I stopped doing music. I stopped acting for years. You guys, Jeremy, like, I'll hit him up, like, man, I think about coming back, doing this and that, and then just life got in the way. But I realized, too, that I'm glad I had that time where I just was living life, because I know that life didn't mean the same to me if I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do.
Exactly.
You know, like, sometimes at work I just feel like I'm wasting time. But I know that me working is helping fund what I need to do, too. It's a necessary evil, for lack of a better word. But I understand, like, it's a sacrifice I need to make to get where I'm at.
Totally.
So, now, luckily, like, the establishment I'm with now, I love it. You know, it's probably, as far as a restaurant manager, I prefer that location and the vibe in that place more than I have other restaurants I worked in the past.
Totally.
So it's not like a stress on me like other places have.
And they got fucking good food, man. Food is amazing.
I can't hate. Food is good. I feel the same way with where I'm at. Like, this is why I've started to, like, really start to go after this as hard as I can, why I want to spread the message as much as I possibly can, why I want to introduce myself and have other artists get to know me and me get to know other artists so we can build each other up, because we all rise together, because I can't go any higher or any better than where I'm at right now. I have fucked around in this business and I've burned a lot of bridges, and the one that I'm at right now is the perfect bridge.
Yeah.
I treat it with the utmost respect. Yes, my mind wanders constantly about the shit that I want to do and should be doing and will be doing when I get home. But that's when I get home. Because I know it don't get no better than this right now.
Yeah.
So I can't fuck this up. Miserable people can make miserable art. Because if you're not happy, then if there's no balance to your life, man.
Gotta embrace the middle.
You gotta embrace the middle, man. You gotta, that's... We didn't even get into that, Psychs, so you're going to have to come back.
Hey, look, I have no problem coming back here, man. I enjoyed my time here.
Where can the friends find you?
At J Psychs on Instagram, on YouTube, J Psychs TV. Also, if you're a Patriots fan, look at this guy's face. If you're a Patriots fan, you can find me at Patriots.
Deflategate.
Oh gosh, Patriots with an S Society on IG.
At Spygate.
This guy. First of all, let's put this out there. This man has contributed to the Patriots page. Don't get that messed up.
He's a friend.
He's contributed.
Dude, you swallow. Sometimes you swallow your pride to help a friend.
I was
the fact you threw that up. Psychs,
unless you know what kind of fine.
I'm starting to question his character right now. We had a beautiful conversation for almost 2 hours. He said, now he's hate. No, as a matter of fact, he was trying to help you out now. Throwing him under the bus for that.
I appreciate
I'm a little lost.
to the fullest, man.
Okay.
You know how hard it was?
That's what he told me. He was like, man.
But it worked because I got to wear my Raiders hat, so you know what I mean? Like,
I wasn't even talking about the sketches. I was just talking about the music. Like, people really felt that song.
The song we did for the page, yeah. I got to talk my shit, you know what I mean? Like,
with the sketches, you get to be yourself. You get to hate on us.
Yeah. I can do that all day.
But I definitely appreciate you guys having me out here, man.
Nah, man, this is beautiful.
Definitely something new. I've always thought about podcasts, but I never really. I've fooled around with like the live online versions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I didn't have much to talk about. Y'all have topics and it's organized, so I really like that.
This is the most unorganized bullshit. But here's the thing.
Notes, you got a notepad.
Yo, I just gotta keep. Like, if I have thoughts, you have to fucking write it down.
Steady conversation this entire time. When I tried it, I was just like, so next we're gonna talk about.
That's one reason why we're not gonna do any kind of like live streaming video yet. Because we're going to get people focused on, like, when people really start to dig us, which I have a feeling they might, like, sooner than later, not might in general, but then maybe we can possibly, like, put some shit live.
Like, the only live things I do now are, like, on Instagram,
yeah.
J Psychs, Patriot Society, I go live on there, talk to the fans. It's an instant response.
Totally.
Yeah, especially if you have, like, stuff you're trying to push, like, if you're trying to sell some of your paintings, get on there and talk to them face to face and be like, look, buy this right now.
Yeah.
it's instant. I mean, like, everything is in front of you.
I got to venture out more a little bit. But, dude, when you dream something, it's fun. You can play make-believe because everything in this world is make-believe. When you believe in yourself, you give yourself a little extra encouragement that nobody else can give you. You have to believe in yourself. Other people can't give you that belief. It's something that has to come from inside of you. And in order to achieve what the fuck you need to do, what exactly drives you, you have to write your goals every day. You have to keep yourself in check. You have to keep a healthy body and a healthy mind. As I said, have a little booze, have a little smoke. But take care of yourselves or else you're not doing this for anything because it's all going to fizzle out. All right? Friends, this is 2 of. Again, sitting with my man here, Far One.
What's up, y'all?
And this is the Rookie coming live to you from the compound. And again, I just wanted to give a big shout out to my man, Jay Psychs. It was an absolute pleasure for you to come.
It was an honor to be here, man.
Come to the spot. And
D.B.A.
D.B.A. Dream, believe, achieve.